Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and today I am bringing you the Siege of London. It's a 2 vs 2 in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. I am playing as the Kingdom of France, and I have a County of Toulouse ally, so I've called on my client state to bring forward some soldiers to London. And garrisoned inside the settlement, we have the English, naturally, and also some Swedish mercenaries as well. So a whole army of Swedish charged with helping the English hold their beloved capital. You can see that we've got some mortar fire coming in against our men, but we're kind of taking it a little bit slower over on my side, just really taking down the walls. Over on the other side, though, with the County of Toulouse, he doesn't have very many siege towers, so he's kind of pushing in almost right away. You can see that he did have 2 catapults over here, but most of them have been already destroyed by the Bastion catapult, which has really good range, actually. Now it's firing down on these Loricati that are moving forwards. We're pushing forwards onto the walls as well. But yeah, they got some good hits over here against the Loricati. And just the crossbows being pushed up onto the walls as well is going to be a bit of a problem. And the towers moving up to the walls as well. I'm not going to engage right away on my flank. I know that it's good for allies to attack together, but I feel that it's better if I waste... I brought a bombard, so I feel it's better that I finish my ammo taking down those towers, because they're going to take a lot of my men down. But it actually looks like we have the Swedish charging out against the battering rams, so the Loricati are going to be engaged in melee almost right away. We see over here. So the Swedish think that a preemptive strike is going to be the better aspect, or sorry, the better decision in that aspect. The gatehouse is still going down, though, so it looks like the battering ram is still active. Over here as well, we've got some troops climbing up the walls. I'm not sure if they have any crossbows up here that are going to get caught in melee. No, looks like there's some herdmen up here that are holding the Loricati back. And the Bastion catapult is still firing. We got some more herdmen moving onto the walls, but we've got the Loricati Cathari. Late period, they should be able to carve up those herdmen pretty easily. The only thing he's going to have to be careful of are these crossbows, and that they don't get too much flanking fire. But let's try and run over the army compositions, and then we'll move back to the wall fighting. So I'm starting with my army first. I've got a lot of these Ecushe footmen. They're just such a cheap but effective tier 3 infantry unit. So I think I have about 8 units of them. You can see I'm pushing forwards my siege towers. Most of them have Ecushe footmen on them as well. And then the max was 6 polearms / pikes, so I brought 4 units of halberdiers, tier 3. And where's the... I've got 2 units of my piquier over here behind my catapult. Here's some more of my Ecushe footmen. I've got 2 units of chevalier, and I brought the Royal de France as my general. But he's going to be moving in late game. For my artillery, I've got a catapult and a bombard. And the rest of my infantry is free company footmen. So tier 2, not as good as the Ecushe footmen, but still pretty solid. And I've got 6 units of Ecushe crossbows. And here's my other unit of chevalier over on that flank. And I believe I have some homed arms. Yeah, so I've got 4 units of homed arms in the late period. They are also moving up on the towers as well. So I've kind of got them in the center. And we are facing the English over here, but we'll look at their army comp after we take a look at my ally. So I sent all of my ladders over to him so that he could have a few more units to get up onto the walls with, or a few more siege equipment. So he's got a lot of these Loricati and Loricati Cathari, which are very, very elite. And then he's brought some Prime Milites Perfecti for his cav. He has 2 catapults, but they're being fired upon almost relentlessly. He's got a lot of these free company longbows as well, so going more for the range than the armor-piercing damage. He's got some spears as well, some Scutafari Cathari. Here's some Armati here, and then he's got some halberds, Milites Gregari. We've got Raymond the 6th, Count of Toulouse. So he would be, think this guy, I would guess. So that's him there. Then he's got some reserves here. So he's got some Ekushey footmen and some Lorcati in reserve. And that pretty much sums up that flank. So let's move over here. You can see that the County of Toulouse is having a lot of issues conquering these walls, mainly because of the arrow towers just relentlessly firing on them. Also, we got the crossbows over here as well. But I'm going to kind of just mouse over the entire city just so we don't miss any units. But we've got some Swedish knights here from Sweden in the back. And then he's got a lot of spear bondier and herdmen. That's pretty much his infantry. He's got 6 units of Hanseatic infantry for crossbows. Looks like 3 units of Akyr bondier. Nope, 4. And then he has 4 units of Huskarls. And he's also defending this bridge over here because you actually can flank around with some of your army and push forwards here. I did take a look at that because when I do play this London siege, I often do move at least some cav or some units over here. But with these 2 towers, plus I noticed that there were 2 bastion catapults, that would have just been a bloodbath, so I didn't pursue that. But he's got some longbow bondier over here as well, so he doesn't have 6 units of Hanseatic infantry. He may have 3 and 3. But yeah, a lot more herdmen. And that's pretty much it. He's got some more of his Swedish knights, or Hanseatic lancers, pushing through. This is going to cause some major problems for the County of Toulouse. He's pulling back his Ekushey crossbowmen as quickly as he can, and also moving forwards his Prime Milites Perfecti. He's also got some Spear Bondier over here, too, that's going to try to flank around the Armada that's going to be moving up the tower. So that is a good play there. But last but not least, let's look at the English. So he's got some cavalry here. He's got the English king, and then he's got a couple of earls. He's got the Earl of Pembroke and the Earl of Lincoln. And he has 6 units of heavy billmen. He's brought a mortar, and he's brought retinue longbows for his archer force, being as England. That's a pretty good choice. And he's got a lot of sergeants in the late period, and then 4 units of spear militia. And that about wraps it up. So let's kind of take a look over here at what's going on. Let's zoom on down and see the elite County of Toulouse cavalry. Looks like they're really taking these herdmen out. They're flanking around with them as well, so that's really going to start to waver them. Over here, the Spear Bondier is breaking as well. They're only tier 1, so that's to be expected, I think. Let's go ahead and put this on slow motion here for now. Looks like the Hanseatic Lancers, though, going to get a nice charge into some of the Milites Perfecti that are over here. They're actually kind of charging right into the flank of this unit. Yeah, so that's a pretty good play there. He is bringing more cavalry up, though, which is good. But looking at the walls, yeah, it's a tough go. A lot of his very elite tier 3 units are not looking good as far as the morale is concerned, just due to the crossbows firing over here. Over on my side, I'm also starting to conquer these walls. So sending forwards my homed arms in against these elite sergeants. So we're going to see some French versus English sergeants here. Because basically homed arms basically translates to men-at-arms. Whereas these sergeants are essentially the same thing. The only problem is that I have not taken this tower down yet, so that's going to cause me a lot of grief, because these arrow towers, as you guys know, can take a lot of enemy forces down. Over here, though, these retinue longbowmen I've caught in melee, and we do have a late-period sergeant unit that's actually getting destroyed. But they're sending up some more forces over here. They've got the billmen kind of set up in strategic choke points, but I'm firing over the walls with my crossbows onto those bills. Over here, though, it's not looking too good, because we are taking a lot of flanking fire from the retinue longbowmen. If we zoom in here and just kind of sit for a little bit, I'm sure we'll be able to see that. I'm not sure which one is my unit here. These are the sergeants. I think my Ekushey footmen are sandwiched right here. So they're the ones that are going to be taking the arrow fire. Yeah, just look at that. That's why the grind for these walls is so tough. And I almost really appreciate that the Attila towers are so overpowered, because it really turns the defenders towards keeping the walls. In Medieval 2, a lot of people would just kind of fall back and let the attackers take the settlement, but Attila really captures these kind of wall fighting scenarios, which are really nice to see. I love the bloodbath that ensues trying to conquer them. But I've got more homed arms over here that are charging off the siege tower. Only problem is that the same story, they are being constantly harassed by archer fire. Let's go ahead and turn it back onto regular speed. And you can hear that mortar going on as well. Over on this side, though, is where most of the heavy fighting is, on and outside the walls, actually. We've got some more herdmen being committed to this flank. The Swedish really feel that they have an advantage outside these walls. They are starting to break some of the elite cavalry for the French as well. And the Milites Gregari are actually pulling back, so they're not even going to engage in this little fight. Let's try and zoom in here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty laggy because it's a pretty large battle. But, oh, it looks like the Milites Gregari are now coming back in. So maybe the County of Toulouse thought that they were going to be winning this engagement, and then they saw that their cav was starting to break. Looks like we got some of these Hanseatic Lancers peeling off here, so they're obviously going to be going towards these Free Company longbowmen. And I'm not sure what they're planning to do here. The spears have kind of zoned them out, so... looks like they're going to get a nice charge into the backs of these Milites Gregari, so let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's a pretty decent charge. It didn't have too much weight behind it, but just the morale penalty alone is probably enough to cause some breaking. The Scutafari Cathari, these deadly spears from the County of Toulouse, they're going to try and zone out the cavalry, but it looks like they're actually breaking already. Looking at the balance of power on how many men are here, it was an 18,000-man battle, almost 19,000 men, actually. But we're down to 8,600, so we've lost about 100 men, and the defenders have actually lost about 1,400. And that's mainly just to the sally out outside the walls here, but it really makes for some pretty awesome gameplay in siege battles to kind of see this kind of thing. And also, it's not totally in vain, because what it did is tie up a lot of these elite units from the County of Toulouse and get them in range of these arrow towers, which are now just going to be picking off a lot of these French soldiers here. Plus, most of the cavalry for the County of Toulouse has been completely destroyed. He has a couple of units over here that are still fighting, but they're fighting spear bombardier, which isn't the best. And you can also see we've got some of the spears kind of slowly moving in behind to try to help their cavalry against a spear bombardier. The spear bombardier are only tier 1. In fact, most of Sweden's units are tier 1, so they're going to really have trouble holding out for a very long time. But it looks like my ally's going to help me over here on these walls by sending his ladders up into this area. But over here, yep, my units are starting to break. That's sad to see, because those are my elite homed arms, and they were just fighting retinue longbows. But that just goes to show how deadly archers can be in a siege battle, especially if you get them in a good position. I'm not sure if they're going to be firing down against those retreating soldiers or not. But you can hear the mortar firing over as well. Oh, yeah. Did you see that volley? That was disgusting. We're still fighting the longbows, though, even though we're breaking up here. And funnily enough, the Swedish flag is actually flying over here as part of the gatehouse, but I think that's just because Sweden was the first player, and the English are technically the second player, so I guess all of this is owned by the Kingdom of Sweden, but If we kind of move out again, let's take a look and see how the billmen are doing. If you look at this unit way over here, we're really focusing them down. They're down 100 men already. This unit's getting a little bit depleted as well. We're focusing on this one, and this one's at 106, so they've lost almost 60 men as well. And these sergeants over here are having a tough time. I haven't even sent in my most elite units yet, so it does look pretty hopeless for me at this point, just because of the superior position of the English. But I'm holding on for hope that my pikemen, as soon as they come in, can deal some damage for us. And we've got this little battle over here by the tower. These are all the spear militia here that are holding back my elite troops. Let's go ahead and just put this to slow motion. I'm sure you guys would rather appreciate some slow motion than this framey mess, but unfortunately there's really nothing you can do to fix that, which is the most frustrating part. I've tried a number of things, but it's just the engine that's having trouble dealing with, well, 20,000 units in this siege. It's nothing to scoff at, that's for sure. But I'm hoping to see maybe a couple of good kills against these spear militia here. Let's try and get like an aerial view. But yeah, that was a big mistake by me to not destroy this tower, because these spear militia are going to be able to hold quite easily against, I believe these are my free company footmen up here. So they're a tier 2 unit, pretty sturdy, but at the same time they're just being just shelled upon by flaming arrows from the tower. And it looks like there's some depleted sergeants over here as well. Here comes some of my County of Toulouse brothers in arms. And look at all those arrows, too, bouncing off the tower walls. So yeah, we're doing okay over here, but just look at how depleted these free company footmen are getting. I have 2 units up here, but we just got a nice position by these archers. If we can take a look at their point of view. And let's turn off the HUD. So they're going to be firing. The longbows are expert at kind of arcing their arrows. The crossbows, it's not as ideal. This guy is getting skewered over here. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but good on him. But yeah, we were talking in this battle too, and I'm sure I've mentioned it probably 3 or 4 times in my previous videos, but oh my goodness, look! There's a head! It fell off the wall, and that's exactly what I was talking about. I really wish that they would add in some animations for throwing like whole live troops off the wall. Like just maybe like hitting them with the hilt of their sword like in the head, and they're kind of dazed, and then you just knock them over the wall. But that was really awesome to see that head flying down there like that. But there go my troops. They're starting to retreat. The spear militia are victorious, which is ridiculous. But that's the arrow towers for you. Let's run over here and take a look. So the County of Toulouse has been pretty much beaten back here by Sweden. So I'd say a round 1 goes to the Swedish on this flank. They did take some heavy losses, though. I think most of these men that are lost were from the Swedish army. 2,000 already lost in this siege, whereas for us it's about 1,300. But I'm continually funneling more and more of my soldiers up onto these walls. Over here as well, these billmen, I'm really looking at depleting as quickly as possible. And over here, it looks like my units are kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place here, literally. Fight, men, fight. My crossbows running into a better position to try to angle their shots to get at the billmen. So a lot of wall fighting going on here. Let's go take a look at those longbows as well. They're just in such good positions to fire down on my men. Let's zoom down here and take a look at them.
They've chosen the wrong fight today.
Oh. Let's get slow motion here so we can kind of zoom in and see them firing down at our men. This guy's got his bow in the way here. Again, you guys know I'm always looking for good screenshots. You guys gonna fire, or what's going on here? There we go. That looked like a good volley over there. Not sure if the arrows have already connected or not. We just missed it, but I've now sent my free company footmen up to attack because my homed arms were broken quite easily over on this flank, just due to the sheer amount of archer fire that was going on. But we can pop that back to play and zoom into the main area of the battle. So the sergeants are kind of back-to-back now. Whoops, sorry. Because I've got some free company footmen in on either side. But that mortar is still continuing to just fire down on my men that are outside the wall. That's why I've got all of my halberds and my pikes well out of range of that mortar. Oh! You hear that sick thwack as the arrows kind of just come in against the armor. But are they breaking now since they're pulling back? Yes, they are. So they have wavered. But we've got some more sergeants of the late period moving forwards. Over here again, more of my units breaking on this flank. Even with the help of the Loricati Cathari, we're still having trouble dealing with these spear militia and the sergeants. But I believe I am focusing my catapult over here now to take out this tower, or I will very soon, because this tower is just racking up the kills. I wish that we would be able to see what tower's kills were in the game. But it looks like we've got the ladder at 100% fire damage over here. And it looks like we got some Loricati Cathari flanking around over here. I'm not sure if Sweden is aware of this or not, but the arrow fire is already coming down. Let's see if we can jump to the front of the line over here. And yeah, it looks like these are crossbows, so I don't think they're going to be... No, maybe they're herdmen. Oh my goodness, it's so laggy. Yeah, these are herdmen actually over here that are fighting on these walls. But these herdmen stand no chance to these elite Loricati Cathari, except for that arrow tower. But let's take a look at what the County of Toulouse has left. So he does have most of his elite units are still alive. His cavalry, 2 are pretty healthy, 2 are depleted. But he's got a lot of his reserves as well, and most of his archers have all of their ammo, which is really good to see. But looking at Sweden, they've taken a toll, I think. Their herdmen are pretty depleted. He's got some pretty healthy units. He's got some spear bondier in this choke point as well. But a lot of his crossbows, they've still got a healthy amount of ammo, which is good. But over here, my homed arms of the late period are finally getting some stuff done against these sergeants. And the English player is now forced to use 2 units of billmen over here in the place of 1, just because I've depleted them so much by my crossbows. Again, over here with these heavy billmen. I'm not sure if they're firing through the gate. No, the gate is closed. But I am trying to capture the gate with my free company footmen, and then I'll be able to move a lot of my units into the city through the gate. But at this point, I'm starting to move my crossbows up onto here, because that's where the real damage is going to start coming from. And a lot of these retinue longbows, if you take a look at them, a lot of them are almost out of ammo at this point. So it's pretty much almost entirely safe to move my most elite units into the battle. And what am I pulling up onto the walls here? Some more Ecochet footmen. Let's hit the slow-mo button again and zoom down into this. Oh, oh, oh. He's just gonna dodge it. The French men-at-arms, they seem to have quite larger shields than the English sergeants do. Oh, that guy was thrown onto the ground. Let's take a look at the edge here and see if we can see any good animations. And I'm really looking forward to the Britannia Total War that's coming out. That's going to be really, really fun. I'm definitely going to get some epic battles going, like Hastings and Stamford Bridge and that kind of stuff. And I'm just praying that it's going to be really well optimized so that we could get, 20,000 troops on the battlefield with minimal to no lag. That would just be amazing. But who knows, right? Who knows? With this whole thing that's been going out with EA's Battlefront 2, where they charge you $60 for the game, and then you have to actually pay more money to unlock content that you need to win the game. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's all about money nowadays. It's not about creating good quality games for, players like us to use, and that's really too bad. Because we're the ones at the end that kind of recommend games to other people. Like, I've had a ton of people that have started to play Total War now because of what I say. Like, at work, I'm like, oh yeah, Total War this and Total War that. And they're like, I've never even heard of that. Let me take a look at that. And they enjoy it. But EA's just getting no love by the community for what they did with Battlefront 2. That is for sure. And it's too bad because I was going to buy it for my Xbox One, and now I'm not. So, what can you do? How we look it over here. Lorcati Cathari's breaking to the Herdman again with that tower. That tower is just causing a lot of problems, and unfortunately, unfortunately, Toulouse doesn't have any more ammo in their catapults to be able to fire down at these. So I think he's going to rest for a little while, which is bad for me because you can see that a lot of the units from Sweden are moving over to help out their English allies. So I'm going to have to kind of fight a little bit of a two-man front, but at least ways we've got some more Loricati from the county of Toulouse that's moving forwards to help me out. We've got some spear militia over here. Some of my units are starting to come down off the walls to wrap up these spear militia. Oh, that guy took a flaming arrow to the back, and he's down and out. But yeah, we're just punching through the ranks of this spear militia here, hoping that I can get a few quick and easy kills. To be honest, like, if they do pull back, it's not a big deal. I don't really care about losing this unit. But just trying to get it off the walls so that I'm not as much of a sitting duck to that tower. I don't really know if it works that way where, I'm kind of more protected. But who knows, right? But yeah, look at this spear bombardier over here. That's got their Pila out. So as soon as those spear militia start to deplete in numbers, we're just going to get a face full of spears. But yeah, this tower is still here at 14%, so as you can see, I was really late at getting at this tower. I thought that I would be able to capture it quicker, but that just wasn't the case. But yeah, these billmen are still quite depleted. The mortar is almost out of ammo, which is excellent. And I'm still not capturing this gate, but I have faced my Free Company footmen facing the archers, so I'm going to take less casualties there, which is good. Can see them near the ruined tower like that. But yeah, these Billmans will wreck lives too, so I'm not really looking forward to taking them on. But my crossbows are starting to whittle them down. This fresh unit of sergeants that has moved in to help the Billmen is getting quite depleted as well. They've lost almost 60 men. So that is looking good. Just looking over to see what the county of Toulouse isn't doing much. And you can see all of these Swedish units that are coming over to my side of the battle. which is not good. Not good at all. We've also got more heavy billmen, a fresh unit coming over to this flank. So yeah, we're having some problems over here. Let's take a look here at my poor units. They are wavering to spear militia, and here comes the herdmen into the flank as well, so that's really going to break our morale. Oh yeah, there goes some spear militia dying though, which is good to see. Slaughter these peasants. This guy's getting like quadruple teamed too. He's like surrounded on all sides. Oh, is he getting the kills though? Yes, he is. Cut him down. Excellent. Oh, but he was, looks like, oh, he's still alive. He's still alive. Nope, now he's dead. Cut down from behind. Couldn't even face him to kill him. But yeah, look at the County of Toulouse forces all breaking. We've got some herdmen that are actually flanking around on the walls, which is a good play. So he's going to come down in behind my Ecochet footmen and slaughter them. And we've got some fresh reinforcements. We've got the herdmen over here. And let's move this to slow motion here. So I poured a lot of my men down against the billmen. I felt that it was time to just get off these walls so that I stopped taking a bunch of fire from those archers. But now these billmen are probably going to cut down a lot of my forces, even though they're depleted. But I'm still focusing on them with my crossbows, so they are going to be taking some damage overall. Oh, is this guy going to die, or... Oh. Oh, he's getting forced back, and... Oh, yes, his head goes flying. Oh. Sorry, chap. Oh, more kills in the front lines over here as well. Some of the bills starting to come out of position, so they're obviously pretty confident in their victory over here. And again, these are just my tier 2 free company footmen, so I'm okay to lose them if I have to. That is just fine. But I was unable to capture this gatehouse because the billmen are sitting over here. But again, they're trying to hide he's trying to hide his sergeants over here against the walls, but they're taking some heavy fire. The balance of power is still in our favor, which is good. It's good. Down to 6,540 to 5,794. So we have about an 800-man advantage, which is what we started with. So at least we're kind of on par. But here we go. It looks like we had some cavalry charging in here that just got cut down. And now we've got some of the Milites Gregare moving forwards into this choke point. These spear bombardiers will not be able to hold for long. But most of their forces are committed to holding these walls. Like, if we look at the town center, like all the mercenary men-at-arms and the Akir Bondir are here, and the Huskarls. But most of the herdmen are in the front lines. And the English have almost completely committed to this engagement as well. Yeah, I think one of the units of billmen broke, just to the sheer numbers of my men, and also being fired upon them from behind. But we got some herdmen that are moving in to aid their English brothers, or I guess their masters if they are a mercenary unit. Fight, fight, Frenchmen, for the glory of France. I'm waiting to see a nice volley in the back of these herdmen from my crossbows that are on the walls. This is where I was mostly trying to focus them because it was one of the only targets they could fire on. But more spear militia charging into the ranks as well. So they're just committing everything over to here. Yeah, but here comes the archer fire. You can hear it whizzing down. So there's a lot of units trying to hold us back over here. But some of mine are starting to waver. They're very tired. Units apparently losing decisively. But let's take a look at what else I have left. So I'm pushing forwards more Ecochet footmen. I've still got 4 units of free company footmen. And I've got 2 units of Ecochet footmen over here. Plus I have my pikes and my halberds. And then looking at the County of Toulouse, he's got all of his archers and most of his supporting forces. But let's take a look at this choke point over here as well. Let's get a nice slow-mo of this. I love looking at the fighting in the choke points. And funnily enough, the Spear Bondier look like French and these Milites Gregari look like English with their colors, but it's the other way around, actually. Oh, yes, got hit in the neck there, so he's down. They're just going to hold as long as they can. Because once the County of Toulouse conquers these walls, they're going to be able to flank around through the streets and really relieve some of the pressure on me. Look at this guy with the gold and red helmet. That looks amazing. That looks like something a general would wear. Ooh, some more blood spray. Yep, he caught the axe right in the side of the neck. Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that these Spear Bondier are lasting so long. Well, it is in slow motion, but yeah, here we go. So the Swedish realize what's going on, and they've moved another unit of Spear Bondier over to this side, and they've got another unit of Herdmen over here as well. So they're going to try and box in these very elite units. Well, it looks like we got some Milites Gregari on the walls as well, fighting against the crossbows, or the Hanseatic infantry. These Hanseatic infantry are pretty decent in melee, because if you take a look at their melee weapon of choice, they've actually got a sword and a shield. So they've got some good, melee defense. But, ooh, lag. More of them coming off the siege tower, jumping down onto the walls. But I'm surprised, because the Swedish have this cavalry over here. I would have brought them outside this gate over here, because the County of Toulouse is looking pretty soft over here. Like, they have 2 units of cavalry, but that's not really enough to stop 4 units of cavalry. He could potentially get rid of all of these archers. But my crossbows are starting to break over here, which isn't the best, because a lot of them have a decent amount of ammo still left. And again, we've got some more Hanseatic infantry moving up over to this flank, so they're going to cause me some trouble.
The men are running, cowards!
And again, over by that tower, just more breaking by my forces. I just cannot conquer it. But you can see that I am focusing it with my catapult over here. It's at 90%, 96%. I was hoping that these units would hold for just a little bit longer, so that the tower breaking down would actually destroy some of the units that are underneath it. But they're just pouring out of the tower and just slaughtering my men, basically. And you can hear the balls whizzing overhead, but none of them were actually hitting the mark, which is really annoying. Here they are pouring down. There's a lot of them still in there, though, so if we can just get it. Oh, hitting some of the troops off the wall.
Our men are breaking off.
I've got one of my units of Frenchmen dying there. Yep, that's released the last bit of units that we're holding over on this flank. And yeah, we've just got this river of soldiers here. I'm trying to hold them with my Ecochet footmen. I'm pushing more off the siege towers. But we need to silence that tower. There it goes, finally. But kills no one. Like, what terrible luck. Oh, I could have wrecked so many units with that tower breaking. But if we go over here and take a look, like, look at the bloodbath. Look at the bloodbath around this tower here. So many men lost. And even at the base of it as well. Mind you, those are mostly spear militia, but, you know. Yeah, my crossbows came back from routing. One of them is routing through the enemy forces, which kind of sucks. But we've captured the gates over here now. And looks like we got some retinue longbowmen moving in over here. Not sure if they're trying to capture the gate back. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. More of my crossbows breaking. That's mainly, I think that's the Hanseatic infantry that's over here. Yes, it is. And how we look at over here, they just broke that spear bondier now. And it looks like the herdmen have pulled back, or they're up the walls actually fighting the Milites Gregari over there. Let's kind of get in behind these spear bondier here. And there they go. They're going to start pouring into battle. They're just cutting up the last bit of the spear bondier that are holding here. Are the spear bondier going to charge in? Yeah, they're going to charge into melee. So they're really just trying to keep the advance of the County of Toulouse under control. But here we go. They were trying to capture the gatehouse, but it's not going to be enough. I've got all of my cavalry pushing in through this gate here. And this very healthy unit of Hanseatic infantry with a lot of ammunition is a prime target for my cavalry. As you can see, I'm just pushing right through those retinue longbowmen and into the Hanseatic infantry because I don't want these units retreating. Crossbows are invaluable in a final defense. So yeah, I've got my cavalry moving in there, which is good. The retinue longbowmen are breaking. And I'm pushing in the rest of my forces as well, my elite forces. And I've got my Chevalier over here. I'm going to peel one of my units of cavalry off to go after this section here that's been holding for quite a while. So let's take a look at this charge here. Oh, this is going to be a good charge. They have a lot of speed built up. And plus, they've been waiting for battle probably for hours. So yeah, nice charge in the backs of the herdmen. Now they're going to switch to their blades and kind of just finish the job. But the morale, I think, is penalty is enough, yeah, to break that entire flank. Well, they've got one other unit of herdmen over here. But it's not going to be enough to hold for long. And this cavalry unit over here managed to stop the English cavalry, the Earl of Pembroke and the Earl of Lincoln, from supporting this flank. So I'm kind of free with my footmen to cut down these crossbows. And yes, I'm moving the rest of my infantry in as well. So we're still doing okay. We're still doing pretty well, I would say, in spite of the many losses that we've taken. We're down to 5,200 for us and 4,000 for the defending armies. And here come my pikes. I'm still waiting with my halberds. I'm not bringing them in as of yet. But how's the County of Toulouse doing? Oh, yes, so we do have some of the Swedish knights that have actually moved out to attack the Milites Perfecti. But unfortunately, it looks like most of them were caught up, so he didn't bring out all 4 of his units to grab the archers. But we've got a nice cavalry battle outside the wall. There's been a lot of outside wall fighting over on this flank. That's really nice to see. But obviously, oh my goodness, that guy took an arrow right through the back. Came out the front. That's crazy. But obviously, the County of Toulouse cavalry is much more heavily armored than the Swedish are. Now, the Swedish do have chainmail, so it's better than nothing, I suppose, but... Very good over there. Let's turn on the HUD, so make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, my cavalry is just wrapping up the last of this Hanseatic infantry that's trying to retreat over here. So some very elite units have been lost. I'm pushing forwards some more Free Company footmen to aid my cavalry over here. Although my cavalry is actually doing quite well considering they're just a tier 1 unit. They're fighting 2 units of cavalry on that flank. But we've got 2 very healthy units of billmen in the center that are going to be holding back my forces. We've got another unit moving to this side here, so they're still not giving up the inside of the city just yet. They're still holding onto the outer, kind of the outer outskirts of the keep, which is really epic. But yeah, he's got 1 more unit of cavalry over here. I'm not sure where the 3rd one is. Oh, it's actually going to probably kill these milites Regari here with a kind of hammer and anvil charge. So he's coming in with 1 unit to hit them from behind as they charge forwards. Now they're going to turn around, and the other unit of cavalry, it looks like it's just going to walk into melee. Oh no, they've got a charge off. Nice.
Enemy units have returned to the battle.
So yeah, that unit is probably dead for sure. Plus, he's following it up with some more Huskarls. So I think this is the first time we've seen Huskarls moving into melee. So they've been called from the town center to defend the outer walls, which is really nice. The Milites Gregari 2nd unit has kind of penned that cab in, though. And over here, the Skuta Fari Cathari is holding back some herdmen. But we can go ahead and put that on play. But the walls are still held by the Swedish over here. Just amazing. But over here, the English, no such luck. They've cracked just under the intense pressure. And yeah, it looks like the Earl of Lincoln is being cut down over here. But the Earl of Pembroke is going to pull out of that engagement. And we've got some nice fighting over here. The Billmen are 100% going to win this against my units. They are just not... They're heavily armored, but not enough to deal with halberds. And it looks like the frames are coming down now as well, so enough men have died so that you could enjoy the video in a better frame rate. Oh, man. Yeah, not looking good over here. But eventually I will be moving my pikes up to deal with this. Because it's really the only unit that can combat billmen that I have. Because my pikemen will actually reach the billmen before the billmen reach the pikemen. Yeah, but there goes my Ekushey footman. That was a full unit. 100 men slaughtered against the billmen. I'm moving forward my catapult, but I stopped them. No need for them to go in right now. But yeah, we've got 2 units of Swedish knights over here, which I am well aware of. I'm trying to wrap up this Hanseatic infantry here, but he really wants to charge into my infantry units over here. And I'm going to quickly pull them back as fast as I can. And I'm going to move my cavalry out as well. So it's a bit of a cat and mouse game going on over here. Because as you can see, I'm getting my Chevalier over here to catch these Swedish knights, so he's going to pull back. And then I move my infantry forwards. But then I see this other unit coming around on the left-hand side, so I in turn pull back. But yes, where are my pikemen? They are sitting outside, so I'm just waiting to move them in. It's safe to move my kind of final line. So this is really all I have left here, is my halberds.
They're not done yet.
But yeah, over here as well. So we've got some Free Company footmen that were charged very aggressively by the Earl of Pembroke over here. I'm not exactly sure which one is the Earl. But I need to commit some more men to this flank. Yeah, here come my cavalry. But against Bills, that's really not going to be the best. I'm going to try and flank them around. But yeah, it's not really going to work. We're kind of being caught by the Billmen over on this side. And are these my pikemen coming in? Yes, they are. So I am bringing in my pikes. You can see the French flag flies here in this little courtyard, which is really awesome. So the French have conquered the outer walls. And we've got these Billmen over here. I bet they see the pikemen moving in, and they're like, oh, snap. That is not going to be good. And we've got these catapults like right in their face as well. Put down your pikes.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat.
You gonna push in, or what are you waiting for over here?
You nearly had my head.
Apparently we're waiting for something. Can't exactly remember what. How are we doing over here? I've got my 2 units in shield wall. They are holding, and I've started to move some of my soldiers over onto this flank to help the County of Toulouse finally break this this staunch defense. Got another charge over here into these herdmen. That was a disgusting charge by my knights. Yeah, breaking that unit pretty effectively. But I'm not sure. Does he have his cavalry still kind of kicking around somewhere?
Stand and fight, damn
Yeah,
you.
he's got one unit over there. I think the other unit was sent outside over here. It's facing some of the depleted Prime Milites Perfecti. But yeah, we're finally conquering these walls over here. We're going to silence those arrow towers for good. I'm moving forwards this unit of cavalry because, as you can see, these roads are completely undefended, and I'm going to try to get over here to catch these retinue longbows as they try to escape. But unfortunately, the Earl of Pembroke kind of sees that. And, of course, we missed it. We waited for so long, and then, in a blink of an eye, these Billmen were just broken by my pikemen. But over here, they're still holding. And you can see my pikes are moving forwards over here, so this'll be a good place to watch these heavy Billmen go down. Yeah, you can see that the Billmen are kind of rendered ineffective now because the pikes are just going to be pushing them back with their better range. And there's another unit of pikemen flanking in behind as well. The catapult crew was... Oh yeah, the catapult crew was sent in to try to stop us. But they were completely wiped out. And I've got my halberdiers moving forwards over here as well. Just spreading around this little inner building here. And I had my cavalry here that I did not tell to charge into these bills. I'm quickly trying to get them out of here. I think they were trying to go after the archers, but... Yeah, we're down to the last 10 minutes of the match here. And the balance of power is pretty heavily in our favor at this point, and we have a 2,000-man advantage almost. But another well-timed charge by the Kingdom of Sweden wrecks my Chevalier and my Home d'Armes over on this flank. We're quickly trying to catch them with some of our sorted units over here. Yeah, but they're going to be able to escape pretty much unscathed. That annoying Swedish cav. They don't have much armor, but they're very quick. They are a fast-moving unit.
Enemy units have been rallied.
And again, over here I've got some of my Home d'Armes fighting these bills, which is not the best, but I'm pushing forwards my halberdiers as well. to aid them. Because these halberdiers, they have about the same length of polearm as the bills do. The only thing is I don't think they can form kind of this pike wall like the billmen can. Push in, halberdiers, push. Come on, kill this guy. Oh, he was magically killed down. He was killed with magic. That was kind of weird. They just put down their halberds and then he just died randomly. But yeah, these billmen, they are fresh, surprisingly, but they are wavering just from the amount of casualties they took. And I think this is one of the units that was very depleted by my crossbows early on.
Our men run from the enemy. This is shameful.
I'm not exactly sure here which of my men is running. But we've got some of these Chevaliers over here that are going to try to destroy these Swedish knights. Yeah, they pretty much broke right away. And it looks like the English tried to make a little bit of a defense to hold us back here, but unfortunately it's only the English longbowmen that are here. Yeah, it looks like the spears were able to push them back. Now, most of my men are inside the city. If we take an overview look, we've actually got a crossbow unit over here, some Hanseatic infantry from Sweden that are actually trying to flank around. I think they were trying to go for my general, but I was well aware of them. The county of Toulouse is still slowly moving in their soldiers. Now that we've kind of conquered the walls and destroyed these towers, he doesn't have as much to worry about. And looks like one of the generals is over here as well. I'm not too sure whose that is, but we've got some big hits from the catapult from Sweden that are going to be firing down now. We've got some Atgeir herdmen that are moving in to save this general. I think it's the English general. Who's in here that's a general? I can't even see. Or that may be a glitch. I'm not exactly sure. Because where are the other two generals over here? Yeah, we've got this one. So here's the English king. Oh, I guess this is the Swedish general. It's just a Swedish knight unit. So that makes sense that he's sending in these Atgeir herdmen because he doesn't want to lose his general. But he's caught over here, as you can see. I'm pushing forward some of my halberdiers to slaughter these guys. And pushing forward my pikes as well to get rid of the spear bondier. And they're actually going to be retreating quite quickly. And it looks like the Swedish general's just going to make it out of here in time. So that was probably a nail-biting moment there. More Huskarls being sent in over here. But unfortunately, they're going to be caught because my pikes are here on one side and my halberdiers are here on another. So I'm forming up my pikemen over here in a defensive position. I'm going to hold right here. I'm pretty happy to do that. Let's slow-mo this so we can see this charge here. Yeah, just look at that. A ton of the spearmen just dying on the pikes. That is gruesome. That is tier 1 infantry on a pike unit for you guys. So I think that pretty much destroyed about a third of the unit. Are they breaking already? No, they're just pulling back. Yeah, they lost 60 men in that one charge. And now we've got these Huskarls over here. They're not sure exactly which way they want to form up, because I do have my halberdiers over here that should be able to best them. And I've got another halberdier unit over here as well that's going to be charging up against the Atgeir herdmen. This is something that I should be able to win as well. So here comes my halberdiers. These Atgeir Herdmen, they're not really good against polearm infantry. They're mostly good against, like, sworded infantry. But against these heavy halberdiers, there's not much that they're going to be able to do. Yeah, you can see a lot of them already being slaughtered on the flanks. How we look at over here as well. Looks like we've engaged the Huskarls in melee. Kill them all. And as you can see, the Huskarls' rear flank is breaking as well. More of the Swedish are pulling back, so that's going to allow us to move forwards with more of our men, but again, cut these Huskarls off from retreat. But unfortunately, looks like they're going to break anyways. Unfortunately for them, I should say. And it looks like we've got the Earl of Pembroke with the English King moving over here. So they're probably going for all of these archers that are seemingly undefended, actually. I've got one very depleted unit of homed arms, but that is not going to be enough to hold them back. He should turn around. Oh, yeah, his spears break over here, so that is not a good sign. So now this cavalry is pretty much just free to run through all of these archers. But a lot of the archers are being refocused onto this flank to try to kill the English king. Just get him off the battlefield. Looks like he is going to escape with the Earl of Pembroke, but they're getting quite depleted. And yeah, they're gonna get out of there. Try and hide somewhere else. Meanwhile, my general took out that unit of Hanseatic infantry that was flanking around, and the Royal de France is ready to engage the English king. He sees that he's probably trying to retreat out of this gate, so he's not going to allow that to happen. So just in time, they're going to come around the corner here and charge. And we've got some of the County of Toulouse footmen coming in behind as well to aid the French general in this final conquest of the city. And yeah, the Earl of Pembroke really took the brunt of that charge, so it kind of saved, he kind of saved the English king there. But the English king is also breaking very quickly. I don't know exactly where the English king is. I'm trying to find him here. Not sure. You guys may already have found him. But it doesn't matter. He is wavering at this point. And there we go. So they are breaking. So the Earl of Pembroke was probably slain. I'm sure we'll hear of the English king dying very shortly. Not sure where he would be. We've got a couple of units of the English king bodyguard over here on this side. We've got a couple in behind over there. Yeah, I don't exactly see him, but he is broken now. So let's kind of take a look at the last defense over here. There we go. That's him dead. And we are just pushing over here, taking London by pure force. The Swedish are holding on this flank. But we've just got too many men over here. They've got their catapult over here as well, which is getting some pretty decisive hits into my French lines here. Ooh, yes. Here comes some more, actually. Boom. I'm actually pulling back my infantry to try to protect them over on this flank here. But my halberdiers are breaking to that, and we've got a nice charge from the Swedish general into the sides of my halberdiers as well. Let's zoom in over here. So the Swedish general, yep, he's going to try and pull out. Oh, we've got some more units coming down here. But my pikemen are still holding. And let's give you guys another kind of bird's eye view of the battle here. So yeah, we pretty much total destruction on this end here. They've got one more unit of mercenary men-at-arms, but they're going to be pulling back for one final stand. But unfortunately, there was quite a big chain rout from the Swedish infantry. And their general is still alive over here. He is still holding on. But they're down to less than, well, about 500 men. We've got 2,990 still to take this fortress, basically. A lot of them are kind of coming back, which is good, but the floodgates to the keep have been opened. There's nothing holding us back from taking this. We've got the French general over here, the French king, actually. He sees the Kingdom of Sweden, and the Kingdom of Sweden is going to charge into him for one last general battle. You can actually see my general there with the golden mask. He is going to be the one to dispatch the Swedish king, bring him down, and claim the city. With the help of Toulouse, of course.
Enemy units have returned to the battle.
And look at all those halberdiers coming in behind as well.
We have seized an enemy victory point.
Yes, we have. And I think that's it. Not sure. The Swedish king may still be holding on. Holding on for dear life. Oh, but there we go. I was going to go and see where they were all headed to, but Pyrrhic victory. We took many, many losses, but in the conquest of London, that's to be expected. So thanks very much to my ally for joining. Thanks very much to my enemies. You played very well. Taking a look at my units, my pikes, 500 kills between them, and they were pretty late game sent in. My halberdiers doing well. Free Company footmen did okay, and my Ecochet footmen did okay. They were tasked with taking the walls, so the low kill count is to be expected. My Home d'Arms did alright. My crossbows doing pretty solid. Cav doing pretty solid. Let's take a look at the County of Toulouse. His spear is doing well. Miltes Gregari doing pretty good. His Ecochet footmen, a lot of them didn't even see battle. But these Loricati Cathari got cut down. His archers could have got a little bit more kills because I think they had a lot of ammo by the end, but his cavalry did great. And looking at Sweden, again, a lot of his spear bombardier, not really the best, but they're really dirt cheap. So even, 52, 80, 30 kills, that's pretty solid. Akir Bondir, again, just got wiped out. They're no good against other enemy halberds. They would have probably been better against the infantry for holding the choke points. Herdmen doing okay. Huskarls, pretty good. Some of them getting high kills. The crossbows really doing well. 308, 305, 335, 240 there. And his catapult, 160. And looking at these spear militia, 31 killed. That's pretty good. Billman, kind of scattered kills. A lot of them got low kills because that's what I focus my archers on. And his sergeants doing good, some doing bad. His retinue longbows doing okay. Some of them good, some of them bad. The Earl of Lincoln was wiped out, but the Earl of Pembroke put up a fight, and the mortar getting 187 French kills as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this Siege of London, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.